October 13th, 1307. Dawn breaks over Paris, and 3,000 men are arrested in a single night. Their crime? They knew too much about money. They called them heretics, sorcerers, devil worshippers. But the real reason they burned was because they invented something that terrified kings: the first international banking system. This is the story of the Knights Templar, the warrior monks who became bankers and changed civilization forever, and how their invention still controls your life today. It starts in the Holy Land, 1119, Jerusalem. 9 French knights take an oath before God. They will protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy City. They call themselves the poor fellow soldiers of Christ. They own nothing, sleep on dirt floors, share 3 horses between them. But there's a problem, a massive problem. Pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem carry gold, months of travel through bandit-infested roads, thieves, murderers. Most never make it. And the Templars realize something brilliant. What if you didn't have to carry the gold? 1150. Paris. A pilgrim walks into a Templar fortress. He deposits 100 gold coins. The Templar hands him a piece of paper, a letter, encrypted with a secret code. The pilgrim travels 2,000 miles to Jerusalem, carrying nothing but this letter. He walks into another Templar fortress and withdraws his 100 gold coins. Do you understand what just happened? The gold never moved. It's still in Paris, but the value traveled 2,000 miles in the form of information. The Templars just invented the bank check, the credit letter, the foundation of modern finance. Within 50 years, the Templars control the wealth of Europe. They don't just protect pilgrims. They lend money to kings, finance crusades, build cathedrals. They create the first international financial network, 9,000 fortresses across Europe and the Middle East, all connected, all moving money without moving gold. They become untouchable. But there's a rule in history. When you control the money, you control the kings, and when you control the kings, they fear you. France, 1307. King Philip IV is drowning in debt. He borrowed a fortune from the Templars to fund his wars, and he can't pay it back. So Philip does what desperate kings do. He manufactures a conspiracy. He accuses the Templars of heresy, devil worship, secret rituals. But everyone knows the truth. He wants their wealth, and he wants his debts erased. Friday, October 13th, 1307. Philip's soldiers strike at dawn, simultaneously. Across all of France, 3,000 Templars arrested, tortured, forced to confess to crimes they never committed. March 18th, 1314. Paris. Jacques de Molay, Grand Master of the Knights Templar, is tied to a stake. As the flames rise, he screams a curse. God will judge us both, Philip. Within the year, you will answer to him. Philip dies 30 days later, but the Templars are gone forever. But here's what Philip didn't understand. You can kill the bankers, but you can't kill the idea. The Templars proved that money doesn't need to be physical. It can be information, a promise, a letter, a number in a ledger. And that idea spreads. Florence, 1397. The Medici family opens a bank. They use the Templar system, letters of credit, international branches, moving information instead of gold. They become the richest family in Europe. They crown kings, fund the Renaissance. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, all paid for by Templar banking. Amsterdam, 1609. The Dutch create the first central bank, the Whistle Bank, using Templar principles, deposits, withdrawals, paper replacing gold. Then they invent something even more revolutionary, the stock exchange. Now you can own a piece of a company without ever touching it. Pure information. Pure Templar. London, 1694. The Bank of England is born. It issues paper money backed by nothing but trust, the government's promise, and people accept it. Because the Templars taught us 7 centuries ago, money is just belief, a shared hallucination, and if everyone believes, it's real. Now, let's talk about America, because this is where the Templar system becomes something darker. 1913, Jekyll Island, Georgia. A secret meeting. 7 men, representing 1/4 of the world's wealth, they meet in absolute secrecy to design the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not federal, and it has no reserves. It's a private corporation owned by banks, given the power to create money out of nothing. Just like the Templars moved value without moving gold, the Fed creates value without creating wealth. They call it monetary policy. The Templars called it magic. And just like the Templars, they operate in secret, unelected, unaccountable. 1944. Bretton Woods. World War II is ending. The global financial system is destroyed. So America makes a deal. The dollar becomes the world's reserve currency. Every nation must hold dollars, must trade in dollars, and those dollars are backed by gold. One promise, $35 equals 1 ounce of gold, forever. August 15th, 1971. President Nixon appears on television. I am temporarily suspending the convertibility of the dollar into gold. Temporarily. 54 years later. Still suspended. This is the moment the Templar system becomes complete. Money is no longer backed by gold or silver or anything physical. It's backed by nothing, just trust, just belief, the shared hallucination. Today, 97% of money exists only as data, numbers on screens. The Templars moved paper instead of gold. We don't even move paper anymore. Your salary, your savings, your mortgage, all just ones and zeros. Information, flowing through fiber optic cables at the speed of light. The Templars would be amazed and terrified. The Federal Reserve controls the world's money supply, the European Central Bank, the Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, a handful of institutions controlling the entire global economy, deciding how much money exists, setting interest rates, creating inflation, destroying savings, and just like the Templars, they meet in secret. The most powerful meetings in the world, and you're not invited. No cameras, no transcripts, no accountability. 2008, the financial system collapses. Banks gambled with money they didn't have and lost. Millions lose their homes, their jobs, their savings. So what happens? The Fed creates $4 trillion out of nothing and gives it to the banks. The same banks that caused the crisis. They call it quantitative easing. The Templars would call it exactly what it is. The powerful protecting the powerful, while everyone else pays the price. So here's the question nobody wants to ask. If a small group of monks could control all of Europe's wealth, and kings burned them for it, why do we allow a small group of bankers to control all the world's wealth and call it democracy? The system hasn't changed, only the name. The Templars wore white robes with red crosses. Central bankers wear suits. Remember what happened to the Templars. When they became too powerful, when they controlled too much, when kings owed them too much, they burned. Not because they were evil, but because they became inconvenient. The Federal Reserve, the central banks, the international financial system, They control more wealth than any kingdom in history, more than any empire, and they answer to no one. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. The Templars invented a system where money became imaginary, where wealth was just information, just trust, just belief. And we perfected it. Your paycheck is imaginary, your credit score is imaginary, the stock market is imaginary, the dollar in your pocket, backed by nothing but faith. The Templars were burned for creating this system. We live in it, every single day. The question is, who benefits and what happens when the faith runs out? 700 years ago, warrior monks discovered that money is just a story we tell ourselves, and for that knowledge, they burned. Today, that story is told by central banks, by algorithms, by men in closed rooms making decisions that affect billions. The Templars are gone, but their system rules the world, and you're living in the fortress they built. The only question is, are you a monk with the ledger, or a pilgrim carrying paper, hoping it's worth something when you arrive?